All right, we're back, and yes, sharing a cup this morning with an author. And ever so often, as I said, we like to bring you a few authors that are around the town. And I'm always so amazed at how many people are actually writing books, and I'm talking local authors. The Bocas Lit Fest kind of alerted me over the years to the fact that we have so many local and Caribbean authors as well. And this guy, some of his books jumped out at me when I got a copy of a few of them. His name is Lyndon Baptiste. I'm about to share a cup with him, and he is writing, I'm supposing, a series of short stories, but it focuses on men, young men, boys, and some comical, some serious. But Lyndon Baptiste will explain his latest book that is part of the Bocas Fest competition, the People's Choice Award. It's called Men and Misfits, and it's a series of short stories.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's start with your latest, because you've done two other publications I'm seeing. But let's start with Men and Misfits. Where did this one come from?
Ooh, this is a 2-year-old project. And I released it last October, and as a result of that, entered it into the Bocas People's Choice Award that they have. And it's interesting what you say, because this is a 2-round process that they have. So the first round lasted about 2 months, and there were about, if I recall correctly, about 35 to 40 books on the list.
That's Bocas Lit Fest.
Yes, the People's Choice Award. And through this online voting process, they narrowed it down to 6 books. So I'm in one of the 6 books.
Nice.
And so that is what we had. This book, is about short stories with guys. I like to write about guys that kind of just, they are the edge of society or being considered normal. Is the guy that you might bypass on the street, the hustler that you might cross the road to avoid. Those are the people that I like to write about.
But you're focused, because I just want to go, because you're focused on writing about men, boys. Is that what your focus is? Because this one is called Boy Days, short stories about Trini men.
Yes.
I left this one for last.
I think I'll have to give you a copy.
Give me a copy of this one. But I wanted to explain, because this one is called Oh My Testicles, a tale of entanglement.
You know, other people
look at painful almost.
Funny thing is, other people look at it and they see a tale of enlargement. I don't know why.
I saw entanglement. I saw entanglement.
Yeah. But that is a true story.
Yeah.
I mean, the title is kind of shocked people, and I guess maybe I was kind of going for the shock factor.
Right.
But it's a true story. I got something called a torsion. And as a result of this torsion, I had to be moving through the healthcare system. I talk about jumping from Mount Hope, going down and sitting down and waiting for the 3 hours. Port of Spain, going privately, the money involved.
So this is actually a health story locally.
Yes, it covers healthcare, but given the nature of this story, and this thing called a torsion, because imagine you're going from place to place, doctors, well, let's see what's going on. There was one time in Port of Spain General Hospital, the doctor came around with a group of 8 interns, ladies, guys, and it's like, I have these student doctors here, and they want to see what's going on.
Excuse my ignorance, right? Excuse my ignorance, but what is the condition?
It's a torsion.
Can you describe?
Yeah, I can describe what it is.
Layman terms.
Layman terms.
Yeah.
Your testicles have the spermatic cord going to it, right?
Right.
That could kink like a hose. And when that kink like a hose, you wouldn't get blood. And as a result of that, if it is severe, from what I've read, you could lose your testicle in 8 minutes.
Right.
From what I've read.
Let's move on to the other book.
I can see a cut scene.
But it's a story about someone who went through. You personally.
Yeah, me personally.
So this is a true story.
A true story about a guy who could or probably lost his testicle.
Do we check these people before we go?
Somebody's supposed to be clapping in the background to say cut scene.
That's a true story. Let me just verify.
That is a true story. All joke and fun aside, it is a true story.
It's a true story.
Yes, sir.
You okay down there now, though? Everything
all right.
I'm supposed to be laughing. It's serious.
interestingly, is something you could get a surgical procedure to help with it.
Right.
And at the time, I didn't go down that route.
Right.
And to be straight with you, is something that if I jump in a pool badly, it could act up on me.
Yeah. Okay. Your decision, Lyndon, because I'm seeing a pattern, obviously. I said, was this your first, the condition drove you to write?
Well, when I was discharged from hospital, I had 2 weeks at home.
Right.
And I sat down and I wrote this book in 2 weeks' time.
Right.
And but I never thought seriously about publishing because who would want to read a story like that?
Yeah.
But when a couple of people read it, they encouraged me and they said, hey, try a thing. You're dealing with some serious issues. Guys could relate to it, the healthcare system. So, and I get some really good feedback on it.
No.
I'll give you a copy of that book.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But thereafter, you then focused on the male species. You focused on the Boy Days short stories about Trini men, and this one is Men and Misfits. Why?
I really want to write contemporary stories. I want to write something or about issues and scenarios that 2 years from now you could look back and say that happened yesterday. And something that I keep mentioning is, when I was growing up reading books, I felt like, I might have great books, classics, good writers that we could relate to, but I felt nothing was really dealing with what a youth man might be interested in. No. Interestingly, in the book Boy Days, there's a story about a lady. That one focuses on a mother that's in a hospital, and she has a child that, she desperately needs about $25,000 US to carry the child on the surgery, or to get the surgery done. So that's one story in particular that focuses on a female character. It's a story called Relief. It's about this bunch of mothers. Because when I was in the hospital with that ordeal that I went through, one of the things that struck me is, you go to hospitals, and while we sitting down here right now having this conversation, you have mothers and fathers, in hospitals with the kids or they themselves going through certain issues. And I think, you're right about the experiences that you have and the things that impact you, and that was one of the things that stood out to me when I was in hospital.
Yeah.
So Relief is about a lady that I wrote about.
Tell me about Men and Misfits, because this is the one that's up for, I think it's on June 1st, the votes will be tabulated and so on.
That is correct. And through my website, potbake.com, what you could do is you could get the samples, and you could go straight to the link. There's the link for the voting page.
To vote for Men and Misfits.
To vote for Men and Misfits.
Potbake.com.
So people could download the excerpts from the story.
Right.
And if they like what they read and they think it deserves a vote, they could go and vote. This has 8 short stories.
Tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind Men and Misfits.
The first story is called Paisan. It's about this guy that returns. He's deported from America, returns to this a kind of narrow-minded village. And because of his experiences and influences, he is, you could say, the first person to be publicly cursed. I remember growing up, you say certain words and you're sure to get a clout. Now you walk on the streets and it's commonplace. So I was dealing with, what if we brought a guy like that into the village, and they're looking at him as, where did he really come from? But he's a disgrace to the area. But not realizing that they are slowly degenerating into that person. There's a story called The Regulars. The Regulars is about a bunch of guys that hang out by a bar. And one of the intriguing things I find about this story, or even like real life rum shop life in Trinidad and Tobago, is that you could be hanging out with guys, you're seeing them probably drinking every day, but you don't know anything about them. And I wanted to write a story like that. It has a little bit of, I think, intrigue in it, because what happens is there's something that causes people to die frequently as a result of being at the bar. So they slowly start losing one another in the story. This guy dies. And then they realize, I don't even know where he lives with me. I'd always seen him here, he talking about his problems.
I don't know him.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
So I really wanted, what I did was wrote that story from a collective point of view, we, the regulars, at this bar. Yeah. And yet we don't know each other.
This is impressive stuff, because this is true Trini stories that you would have normally, even though it's local authors, sometimes it's sometimes a nice fairy tale story that you could probably identify with if you think fairy tale, but this is real stories, and real stories as you said, sometimes as young boys, young men, it's a pet peeve that I've had, society doesn't focus on young boys and young men. And I think that's what you've done in a sort of serious but comedic way here as well. The book is written in local dialect as well, most of it.
In boy days, you get that coming out more.
No, because this on Men and Misfits, I'm just reading a quick line. It's written. "I's a boss," he said, and Daddy replied, "Yeah, boy, you're a real boss." Is only a truly could read that.
But interestingly, I tried to make this book a little bit more universal.
Right.
So it's hard to write dialogue that, all right, a Trinidadian will get, but then if someone picks it up outside.
So you internationalize this one.
I tried to, yes.
But you want to read it. This one is local. Is more locally written.
This one is a lot more these stories told in dialect. So here's what you stop me anytime you're ready, right?
Yes, yeah. So.
Because I like to overdo it sometimes.
Yes.
All right, Joe, I'll read for you.
Yes.
My name is Inshan, and I is the kind of fella who really attracted to Douglas girls. That sweet, tantalizing mix between African and Indian that is kind of force you to stop and bite your lip and gauge this woman and say, yes, family, you're really looking good. And you don't mind that she passed you straight, shading she eyes and admiring she toes because you don't know Trinidadian woman don't know how to accept compliments. But back to these Douglas girls, for me it's like you're getting the best of both worlds. I'm not lucky with darkies at all. So one day, to my great surprise, I meet Linda, one chocolate empress, African to the bone, shiny black with teeth like dinner mints. Although from behind, because she weaves straight and glossy like plastic, I take she for Indian. I meet Linda when I went to deposit my first paycheck. Mind you, my salary is so small, I getting paid with petty cash.
You get the picture. So I mean, this is real stuff. And these are short stories in here.
Yes, sir.
All your books you can get on your website, podbake.com.
Yeah, through podbake.com, readers could reach out to me.
Yeah.
There's my cell phone, email address. The book Men and Misfits is available exclusively at Charon's bookstore in Trinity Mall.
Nice.
And my books are on the Amazon Kindle.
It's on Amazon Kindle as well. Men and Misfits, his latest one. Check it out and drop him a vote if you so desire, because he's up for the People's Choice Award with the Bocas Lit Fest. I think that comes at the end of June 1st. So at the end of the month, it's coming close. So Men and Misfits, I want to thank Lyndon for dropping by this morning and sharing a local author, 3 books, and focusing. That's where you're going to be focusing. You're going to be focusing on young men.
I think so for the while. I think as life changes, you're probably a little bit more serious or think about fatherhood and different things. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure meeting you this morning.
Had a nice time.
Pleasure meeting you this morning. It all happens here sometimes. I mean, look, we met an author that focuses on boys, men, serious stories with a little comedy in it. Taking a short break, coming right back.